Y'all see this, bro? This is what healing looks like. All these bags right here, y'all see? These are 2 bags full of women's items that I've left here, or that they have left here, that I'm just now, starting to throw away. Now, this video, is gonna be, it's about to be very personal, and it's about to hit home for some of you. So, please hear me out when I say this. This is what healing feels like. Honest truth, growing up, I was someone who struggled to let people go. I've always tend to, hold on, y'all. Yeah, growing up, I've always been a very, like, I wouldn't say emotional person, but I've always been someone who had a big heart growing up, even as a kid, like, and when things would, upset me or hurt me, I ain't gonna lie, like, that shit, it'll really, like, disturb me, like, overly disturb me. But one thing I've learned, now being an adult, growing up, is that you have to heal, Healing is very important because it allows you to not only improve your life, but improve your relationships, improve other aspects of your life. And, the world is spinning each and every day, and it's very important that we learn to move on because, before you know it, you're gonna be in your 40s, you're gonna be 30, and basically not healed or still broken. Like, it's very important to learn how to heal properly. And you're healing when, certain songs that you've associated with a person, or certain songs that, you've listened to when you met that person, and now that, that person is no longer in your life, that song doesn't, that song once made you feel some type of way when you listen to it. And now that song no longer bothers you at all. You don't feel emotionally attached to that song, in reference to that person. You feel, relief. You're able to enjoy that song without feeling emotional. You're able to, just feel that feeling that you've got from, when you first heard that song, basically. When you're healed, when, you can just look at that situation and just understand that you gave your all. You gave that person your all, whether you messed up or they messed up, or you may or may have not made a mistake, but you just looked at it as if, you basically looked at it as you've made progress, as if, you've learned some things. And it's always very important to, not look at a relationship or just anything with someone as, it was all bad. You have to look at it. You have to look at the relationship. You have to look at the situation and, learn from it. Backtrack if you have to. Yes, it's going to hurt. Backtrack. And when I say backtrack, I don't mean go back to that person. I mean, really backtrack to the beginning of the relationship to the end. And just, think of the red flags. Think of, what you've learned, from the situation or from the relationship. You're healed when, you're able to do things such as this, get all the items and, throw them away. You're healed when you're able to, delete that person out of your contact list. or simply learn to love that person from a distance. It's like we don't have to be in contact with each other. I don't hate you, but I still have love for you, but it's from a distance. I love you from a distance. We don't have to speak every day. We don't have to speak at all, actually. But I still love you, but I love you from a distance. Um, Something that I've learned recently, um, during my healing process, during my healing stage, is that you can never unlove anyone. Like, and I feel like if you was to unlove someone, I don't think that it was genuine love. Because I think that love is something that can't be, you know, basically removed. I don't think you can unlove someone that you truly have love for. Which may sound crazy, but hear me out on this. It's like when you go into a new relationship and, you know, this is about to sound crazy what I'm about to say, but just hear me out on this. I can't go into another relationship hating, someone that I was once dealing with. I still have love for that person. That does not mean that I'm cheating. That does not mean that, I still want something with them. But my love is unconditional. Like, if I truly love someone, I cannot unlove that person. That's just what it is. So, one thing that I've learned while healing is that, you can never unlove someone. Like, that's just the honest truth. And, whether it's an ex, whether that is a family member, a friend, a spouse, anyone, you can never unlove someone. And if you can, you feel me, that love isn't genuine at all. Something else that I've learned during my healing process is that you have to learn to accept people for who they are. You have to learn to accept things, for what it is. When people show you who they are, you have to believe them. Yes, it's going to hurt, but you have to move on. You have to actually go out there and be with someone who is willing to, love you the way that you are meant to be loved. Someone that is willing to, listen to you. Someone that is willing to, reciprocate the energy that is being given to them. You can't settle, because by you settling, that person is going to know that you are settling, and that person is going to treat you like such, and you are going to devalue yourself as a human being. You cannot do that. You have to learn to walk away. You have to learn to say, hey, I am not willing to put up with this disrespect. I'm not willing to put up with things that, does not serve me purpose, or that does not, make me better as a human. And you just have to simply walk away. And something else that I've learned, while healing, is that you just can't, you have to learn how to love yourself. And self-love is the best love when it comes to, just love in general. You can't love yourself. Well, no. You can't love someone else if you don't love yourself. And if you believe that you can love someone else and you not show yourself love or not truly love yourself, then that love is not true love, my friend. Like, the way that you love yourself is very imperative. You have to, and when I say love yourself, I mean that, you have to spend that time with yourself. You have to learn yourself. You have to learn your emotions. You have to learn emotional intelligence. And when you learn these things, then you're able to love someone else, because you know emotional intelligence. You know how to treat someone. You know what and what not to put up with. So it's very important, y'all. I'm not crying. I have a cold, if y'all was wondering. It's very important to learn how to love yourself before you love someone else. It's very important. Something else that I've learned about healing is that you have to delete triggers. Like, you have to get rid of all triggers. And by that, I mean old pictures, delete them out your phone. Why do you still have them in your phone? Messages, delete them out of your phone. Why are you still reading old messages that y'all have? You know, anything that reminds you of that person, you have to get rid of it. I don't care if it was a jacket they bought you. I don't care if it was something of theirs that you really love. I don't care if, you know, it was just the smallest thing that reminds you of them. You have to erase that memory out of your head. And yes, it's going to be hard. Because honest truth, there are still times where certain things trigger me. But, you know, healing, you know, it comes with accepting things as they are. So by that I mean, you know, I'm gonna give y'all a prime example. I'm out on the road, you know, and there's cars that I see that person, you know, has, or a certain smell that person smelled like, or something that reminds me of that person. One, you can't, you know, look away from it. You have to face that head on and, you know, just kind of accept it for what it is. Like, yeah, it's the same person, it's the same thing that person has, but, you know, you have to learn to accept it. And just don't be like, I miss them. Like, no. There's going to be times to where you are going to miss that person. There's going to be times to where, you know, you may want to hit that person up. But I'm telling you, when you are healing, bro, you have to learn disciplines. Disciplines is a very important factor when it comes to healing. You have to learn to, you know, focus on the things that matter, such as self-love, such as fulfillment, self-fulfillment. You know, doing things that, you know, helps you get out there in the process. Or not get out there in the process, but overcome, you know, that void that you're trying to fill in. Something else that I've learned while being on my self-healing journey is stop trying to fill in the void, bro. And I've seen so many people do this, and I can't say that I once was, you know, I fell victim to it. You know, you can't go and try to be with somebody as soon as you've got your heart broken or just got out of a relationship in general. Because truth be told, you are still vulnerable. Your emotions are all over the place. You truly don't know what you want. So don't get in a relationship, bro. I'm begging you. Don't get in a relationship trying to fill in that void. Because that is playing with that other person's emotions. Especially if you don't know what you want. Especially if you are trying to get something out of that person, you know, from that other person. Don't try to look at someone and, you know, see something in them in reference to that person that you was once with. Please don't do that, bro. That is the worst thing ever. And it's one of the worst feelings on earth, honestly. And I've been on both sides of the stick, you know, both ends of the stick, and I know how it feels. It's not a great feeling. So please, I'm begging you. I'm telling you, like, I've been a person that has, you know, they call them rebound relationships, that has gotten into a rebound relationship, you know, hoping that that person could fill in the void of, you know, what I was missing or what I once thought I wanted, you know, and it didn't end well. You know, I ended up hurting that person, and, you know, I truly apologize for it. And I've also been on the other side of the stick to where I have been the person that someone was needing for an emotional tampon to get over someone. And it's a terrible feeling. I'm telling you, like, you don't want to be on either end of the stick. So I'm telling you, please, if you're getting fresh out of a relationship, or if you're getting right out of a relationship, or just a situationship with anyone, please focus on self-healing, focus on self-fulfillment, and focus on, the things that really matter. Focus on your purpose. Don't go hop into a relationship. Don't go hopping into, talking to someone. Please don't. Focus on yourself, because that is only going to cause hurt in the end. I'm telling you. But something else, last but not least, that I've learned, during my self-healing journey is to just take accountability for my actions. That's something that, I can say. Previously, I didn't learn how to take accountability. I would always, I'm not going to say always, but there would be times to where I would gaslight or, not put myself in that person's shoes or understand where they're coming from. And, that's not a good feeling. It's not a good feeling to be gaslit, I'm not sure if that's a word, but it's not a good feeling at all, honestly. So you must learn to take accountability not only as a man, but as a human being in general. We fail to take accountability. We always think that we're right as people, and honest truth, you're not always right. I'm not always right. No one is perfect. We all make mistakes, but you have to learn to, take constructive criticism, fix that, learn how to apologize, give true apologies, and just be, as honest as you can. That's something else that I've learned, You have to be honest, bro. Being honest, honesty, it plays a very important role in general. No one wants to be with someone who is always lying. No one wants to be with someone who is, very unintentional with the things that they want. You have to be very intentional with the things that you want, and you have to mean what you say and say what you mean. You have to go after the things in life that truly matter, such as self-fulfillment and, your purpose. You have to go after your purpose. And you have to learn to see things head on and see things for what they really are during this self-healing journey. You have to learn to, just be around like-minded people and be around people that understand you, and just be the best that you can be for yourself. Y'all see all these bags though? This is about at least 60 items in this bag alone. All of this is, from women and things that they have left over here, or things that, I am about to get rid of. So yeah, I just wanted y'all to, understand this is what self-healing feels like. It feels like just seeing the good out of a situation and just understanding that, people, not everyone is forever, Some people are for a reason and some people are for a season. I hope that y'all really understood what I was trying to get into with this video. This is a very touching topic, and it's a very touching video. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. I hope y'all are on a self-healing journey. I hope that y'all are on a journey to, learning emotional intelligence and self-fulfillment. But I hope y'all enjoyed this video. If you're new to the channel, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. turn that bell so y'all be notified when I post. And like I said, man, don't complain. You feel me? Just do better. I'll see y'all boys in the next video, man. Love y'all.